This past summer, we investigated the Worcester Inn in Worcester, New York. The owner gave us access to several other rooms, and we had a very eventful night, resulting in some great evidence, from scratches on a mirror to audio evidence to some very compelling personal experiences as well. We outlined these in detail in a video that is posted on all of our platforms, so check it out if you haven't already. Since then, we've stayed in touch with the owner, and we were invited back to investigate again. This time, however, before the investigation, he had put together a gathering of local residents, as well as some investigators and mediums, to discuss the inn's history and activity. It was a great turnout and great conversation as everyone shared their own personal experiences from this amazing location. A funny story is that before the gathering, I was explaining to Emily that I thought it was going to be much smaller, like 3 or 4 people, and as I was explaining that to her, the ovulus chimed in with these words. So, I guess the spirits were mocking me too. After the gathering, everybody left, we got our gear out and turned off the lights for our next investigation of the Worcester Inn. The first place we started was the main dining room bar area. We set up an experiment with the SLS camera. This camera, which uses Microsoft Xbox Kinect technology, will map in any masses it senses in its range as a stick figure, just as it's mapping me in right now. Unfortunately, I drank alone that night. We didn't map any figures in across from me. However, we definitely were not alone, as our stationary camera in the back of the room picked up several voices. These are EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, as they were recorded on the camera's audio, but we could not hear them ourselves.
Want to have a drink with us, Debbie? A toast? Want to have a drink with us, Debbie? A toast?
The water EVP is a Class A intelligent response to Emily offering a drink. It's one of my favorite EVPs we've ever caught. After the bar, we moved to the second floor. We started in room 217, and this is where the activity really started to pick up. At one point, Emily felt something behind her, which made her shift so that she could see the entire room better. A few minutes before she shifted, our camera did in fact catch a light anomaly directly behind her. It was just after this that something happened in this room we've never experienced before. There was a jolt of energy, and so many voices came through the Phasma box at once, we couldn't understand what any of them were saying. It was like a shockwave. We even felt it in the floorboards. We'll play the moment for you now. I'm right here.
I know.
Wow. Okay, one at a time, guys.
Yeah, we're trying to understand you. Ladies first.
Feel like the building move?
A jolt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In room 303, we were trying to communicate with the spirit of Dennis, a longtime resident of the inn. As we were setting up in the room, our thermal camera caught a voice, giving us a rather specific directive. What makes this voice even more compelling is that our full spectrum camera was rolling nearby and caught the exact same voice in the exact same tone. It doesn't happen often that 2 devices catch the same voice in the same tone at the same time. When it does, it's always compelling. A little later on, in room 307, we picked up a name we've heard before while using the Phasma box. In fact, we heard it our last time here. Here's the clip from our first investigation. Now, here are both of the times that it came up on this visit, and these occurred only a few minutes apart from one another.
My name's Emma.
What makes it even more interesting is that all of these times that we've gotten the name Emma, it's been in the room 307. We have never gotten this name anywhere else or in any other room in the entire inn. We're still trying to find out who Emma is and what she wants us to know, beyond her name. Meanwhile, back in the second floor hallway, we had placed our thermal camera there to try and get evidence of the ghost child that apparently runs up and down this hall. We didn't get a child's footsteps, but we did get a child's voice. We believe "Where's my baby" could be the child asking where the teddy bear is that is usually in this hallway. During our first investigation here, we brought a teddy bear to this child in the hallway to use as a trigger object. For tonight's investigation, we moved it upstairs to see if the child's spirit would come looking for it. 30 minutes after capturing this child's voice, our thermal camera glitched for about 30 seconds. This is the first time we've ever seen it do this. If you look carefully at this footage, you can see an orange-yellowish shape appear from time to time, almost orbiting the camera. When we watched this frame by frame, 1/30th of a second at a time, there were two interesting things that appeared. One looks like the outline of a person. The other looks like a cold air mass moving down the middle of the hallway. So is the energy from this orangish orb causing the glitch? We don't know. Is it paranormal? Maybe. Is it interesting? Yes. And after 30 seconds of this glitch, the camera resumed its normal function for the rest of the night. Upon leaving room 307 to go down to change a camera battery in the dining room, I turned to snap 3 full-spectrum digital pictures. These are 3 of over 700 full-spectrum digital still photos we took that night. Here's what these 3 photos caught. Something is clearly moving in front of the door on the right in these photos. It looks like a mist figure walking into the door. We will show them in succession a few more times for you to get a better look.
Fun ticket. Fun ticket. Don't fight. Started it. Who started it? I was a little confused.
Yeah, he started
He started it.
Did you notice I moved Bob? The teddy bear? The last thing we did before wrapping up was ask where we should put the teddy bear. After a few moments, the ovulus said 4 words: among, students, above, and creek. Emily remembered there's a child's school desk in the second floor hallway. Amazingly, above this desk is a painting of a creek. That's pretty specific, so that's where we left the bear, and that's where he still is. And thus concludes our second investigation at the Worcester Inn. In many ways, it was more active than the first time we were there, but the activity was very different. We can't wait to see what lies in store in our next investigation of the Worcester Inn.